Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633. I'm back with another Star Wars review. This time we're going to take a look at the basic 3 3/4 inch Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Exile gear from the Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi toy line. Now this is an okay figure in my opinion. The likeness is okay also for the 3 3/4 inch scale, but I think the major problem with this toy is Hasbro's once again decided to go with the plastic cape, which overall hinders just pretty much the entire articulation. I'll be minimal articulation, so it is still a 5 points of articulation figure in general, which is kind of unfortunate. Anyways, we're going to take a look at the card. The card once again shows that it is a part of the Force Link system, and shows a picture of Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill there. So, that looks okay, I guess. Otherwise, there isn't a whole lot else to say about the packaging. Now, we're going to take a look at Luke. Luke, just with the cloak on, I don't know, just looks not the best in general. The cloak itself also doesn't like to stay on very well, since it does kind of lay a little bit further up the neck like I would have liked it to, causing it to just look kind of strange, especially when you look at it from the front. You can remove the cloak if you wish to, but other than that, it's just a pretty generic looking Luke figure, and I think it's okay, but it's definitely not perfect. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint, swivels at the shoulders, and unfortunately he does suffer from the single-pieced hip articulation, which just looks very strange. And he can really only sit about that far anyway, so it's really not the best design figure in general. Anyways, we're actually going to take a comparison with some of the other 3 3/4 inch Lukes that I currently own. And here's the new Luke next to a bunch of the older Luke figures we've gotten over the years. Obviously, these are the super articulated versions, and normally I would not compare the super articulated versions of a character along with the 5 points of articulation, but since I actually currently do not own any other 5 points of articulation version of Luke, I'm just going to be comparing them now. Anyways, here is the original Luke design from A New Hope, and this is the one either from the Resurgence of the Jedi and a few other places, but I cannot tell exactly where the rest were on the top of my head. The next release we got here is the one from the Vintage Original Trilogy collection, and basically it was the vintage card before the Vintage collection actually came to existence, so it's kind of a special pre-date line, and that's pretty cool. The next figure is based on his Empire Strikes Back design in the Snowspeeder gear, and I think it looks really nice, and I think Hasbro did a pretty good job maintaining the design for Luke overall here. The second to last figure here is the Luke based on his design from the lightsaber deleted scene, and for those who have the Vintage Collection one, it's the same thing, although I did end up getting the one that was repacked for the Black Series about a couple years ago. And now, the final design, which is my favorite out of the Luke designs, is his appearance in Return of the Jedi, in the final part of the film. I think Hasbro did a fantastic job in this release, and while all these head sculpts are not 100% Mark Hamill, I think they did a pretty good job designing the figures overall, and I'm pretty glad to own all these Luke figures after all the years they've been releasing figures in general. So overall, I think this is an okay figure. It's definitely not a perfect figure by any means. The cloak's really not that great, and it would have been nice if it was actually soft goods, or at least a little better design so it doesn't have the problem with it kind of covering his entire body, causing major hindrance to the very minimal articulation he has in general. If you prefer a super articulated one, then obviously you would go with the Walmart Black Series one, but since they just came out, it's kind of hard to get a hold of that one. It's actually kind of hard to even get a hold of this one, but I think this one is just a little bit more easily available for those who just want a basic Luke Skywalker on the shelf represented in this design. I actually got this from Amazon, since I was not able to get it in Force Friday or in store in general, so your best bet is probably just check Amazon or various other places, since he's going to be quite around at one point, since he is at least part of the Wave 1 assortment. Anyways, please kindly subscribe and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check my Twitter, Darkon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible. I'll be back with more Star Wars reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.